Bradley, how critical was it for you guys to get some of the little tackling issues cleaned up this last week? I know Trey and Shaq played a big deal in the run game stuff early on. You got the big one on the screen pass as well, but to get some of that cleaned up for you guys this last week.
Oh, it's huge. Small leaky yardage like that, missing tackles in the flat, those yards after contact, those are game-changing plays in itself. It might not show up on the stat sheet or on Sports Center, but those yards add up, in flip field position on just screens. Last time we played them, they were able to get a lot of yards on screen, so it's still a focus point for us today.
What's the key with Kittle? He's obviously got a ton of yards for them this year and catches and all that. Do they do anything unique to really get him open at all?
Not really. He's crafty in the way he operates, the way he runs his routes. I have a lot of respect for him. The last time we played him, but Denver, they honestly they just had a lot of missed coverages, a lot of blown assignments. It's very hard to tackle somebody when you don't have anybody covering him. You know what I'm saying? So it was bad. I mean, guys were just turning him loose, and you give a guy like that some space, he took it to the house, 80 yards, and that's a credit to him. It's one thing to just run around open, but to take it all the way to the house, that's kind of a credit to him. But you gotta start with covering him. Gotta get if a guy's making those type of plays and drawing that type of attention, he needs to be a focus point. So that's one thing we're gonna do differently.
If you guys can officially clinch a playoff spot this week, what accomplishment would that be for this team to be able to do that?
It'll feel good. It'll feel great, actually. It's just another one of the things we got together and said we wanted to do at the beginning of the season. It's a goal we set out for as a group, and we're just one step closer. And it'll feel good to prove that many more people wrong and one step closer to another goal we set.
You had the pass break up on fourth down. Bobby and Frank had the run stop on that 4th and short. How much do you guys enjoy when a team keeps their offense? I mean, do you guys get excited when the offense stays out there on 4th down to give you that chance to get a stop?
Depending on the situation, No, it's good. I mean, as long as you're on your game and as long as you know what's going on, you live for those moments, man. Those plays were critical, definitely game-changing plays. But even in those plays, it still can be done better. We still could do more, like the breakup. If he throws it better, I have an interception, and we get a better field position. We might be able to keep the ball and run the clock out. Just small plays like that, giving the offense the ball on the 2-yard line compared to the 20-yard line is a total difference. But those plays are huge, and we love them. It does a lot for the momentum standpoint for our offense and going forward in the game.
What difference, if any, do you see in Tedrick from when he first took over as a starter to now?
I would say two things: his confidence and his communication. Those two things have definitely shifted and spiraling upward. He's communicating. We definitely have a flow back there. We work well with one another on and off the field. It's not a forced relationship, and I think that we make each other better. We push each other. I feel like a lot of these young guys in the secondary don't get enough credit. People ask me all the time, how does it feel to be a leader of the secondary or this group back there? But a lot of these young guys are true veterans in themselves, and they're just growing, and they're getting better each game, each week. They're getting better. They're growing up each week. Like right now, I see Trey. He's a rookie, but he's a veteran in my eyes. He's doing all the little things right. He comes to work early, gets his treatment, he gets his body back together. He stays and he listens. We all know, even myself included, we know we don't know it all. We haven't been there. I haven't been to the playoffs. These guys haven't been to the playoffs. So we're still willing to learn, but at the same time, these guys are gritty. That's why I like playing with them. No matter what situation, whether we're winning or we're down, I know they're going to fight, and I can go to war with these guys any day.
Can you envision what it would be like if, coming out of college when you were a safety, if you were moved to cornerback and then we're starting from game one at a whole new position, what that could be like and what it means for how Trey's handled that this year?
Man, my hat goes off to Shaq and Trey. Before the position switch, he's an athlete. That comes easier than I would say just playing a full season. Because I look back at my rookie year, I made a 53 squad in Kansas City, but I was inactive every week. And I look back like, would I've actually been ready? And I don't know if I was ready maturely at that point. You know, these guys are very mature to come in to really hone in on the season. I felt like my mind was elsewhere. I was worried about making a team, or I was worried about getting accepted by the team, or just worry about the wrong things. And these guys, they get it. You know, they came in and they get it. They were coachable. They came in, you know, they had their hiccups, but, you know, at the end of the day, they're playmakers, and they've been making plays, and they've been standing up. So, you know, nothing but respect for those guys.
You mentioned leadership. I'm wondering, after Earl went down, did you feel like you had to do anything different as far as communication or the way that you led, or on or off the field, did you feel like you had to do anything differently?
No, because if you look at it, we started before Earl got back. You know, before Earl was here, we had OTAs, and we started gelling in. You know, the process started then. We started coming together then. We had to become a brotherhood then, a real tight, cohesive unit then. So it started then. You know, it was a friendship before it was leadership. So I think that's what this is all based off of. So, I mean, and I never jumped up and said, you know, I'm the guy, listen to me. You know, I'm just saying, when we're on the field and we communicate, I've just been in situations. I've been burned before. I've been in the fire, you know. So if there's any situation I've been in that if they haven't, I just try to give them a heads up. And that's the only thing I do for these guys. Besides that, man, they deserve more credit. You know, that, like I said, they're true pros, and they handle their business like they're supposed to.
Wagner talked yesterday about he doesn't like comparisons of, comparing this secondary to the old one, anything like that. How important is that mentality for you when you came in here with the names that were at safety, and now you're starting to not try to be somebody you're not?
Well, that was always my goal. You know, when I came in here, I always wanted to be me. You know, talking to Cam, talking to Earl. You know, they watched the film on me, and they talked to me. And they said, you know, one thing about Seattle, man, Pete always lets anybody be you. You know, he believes in guys' characters showing. You know, colorfully. You know, whoever you are, be you. But be you every day, be it consistently. And if you could do that, Pete's going to love you, you know what I mean? And I took that to heart. You know, I got a different playing style than Cam, you know, so I came in and replaced Cam. I was always constantly getting compared to Cam, the way he hits, the way he does this, the way he does that. And he was the first person to tell me, you know, you're here because of what you done. You know, be you. You don't have to be anybody. And I kind of just spread that message to the younger guys. You don't have to be Sherm, Trey. You build like him, but you don't have to be him. Be you. Be Trey Flowers. Be the next household name, you know what I'm saying? When Sherm was here and he was a rookie, nobody knew who he was until he started making his plays. So that's one thing I try to pass down to them, just be you, and that's good enough for us.
When Earl got hurt, nationally, there was some pretty dire, like, God, how are the Seahawks going to survive this, and the secondary, and all these guys nobody knows. Was there any sort of talk after that among all you guys about, kind of moving forward with what you had?
No, because at the time when we were going into the season, week one, we didn't know if we would have Earl, you know. So we had to have a plan. You know, you have to have something, because we didn't know where Earl was at, what Earl was going to do, if we were going to have him. We would love to have him, of course, but we didn't know if we were going to have him. So we had a plan, you know, and we had a very good one. It wasn't just a spare of the moment. Oh, let me grab him out the street. You know, we drafted this guy, and we drafted him for a reason, and it was about time for him to show his worth. Earl comes back and he gets hurt, and it was like, well, you know what? We were going right back to our plan, and that was it. You know, it wasn't a second thought about it. It was going back to our plan, and it's been working.
You still in touch with Earl?
I actually seen Earl after I want to say one of our last night games. I just seen Earl. You know, he's in good faith. He's just getting back. We stay in communication on Snapchat and whatnot, but yeah, he's in good faith. You know, he's a good space right now, just getting his body back right, and he's dying to get back on the field.
Does he still give you pointers of the position and defense?
Nah, that's never been Earl's style, man. Earl wants you to play free. Earl wants you to, Earl just wants you to go out there and get it, and he don't believe on harping on mistakes too long. You go out there, you do something. If you felt it, it's a reason you felt that, and you move on to the next play, and you keep going like that. Something's good gonna happen.
Bradley, after that performance on Monday Night Football, what kind of statement did the Hawks secondary make, you would say, that night?
Gritty. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, some guys. I mean, you could take it a lot of different ways. The way I take it, my guys were just out there ready to fight. My guys at the beginning of the game, I knew that these guys were going. We both wanted to win. The Vikings wanted to win. We wanted to win. But when I looked at the DBs, I just knew that those guys were willing to do whatever it took that night. And going forward, these guys are gelling and they're clicking at the right time. A lot of people on the outside might not see it, but working with these guys and seeing how they're moving and where their focus is, and nobody's losing distraction. Everybody's keeping the main thing, and the focus where it's supposed to be at. And it's beautiful. It's clicking out there, and that's all I'm really worried about. People are going to have their opinions and their assumptions of us. Just a bunch of young guys, and me out there. We just trying to get it. We just trying to get a W.
Anybody else? Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Bradley.